what's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Star Chasers, Girls Talk Ball. As you know, it's your girl Cravin here, and as usual, I got my brilliant sister Star in the building. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. Star, how you doing tonight?
Doing great, doing great. What's up to everybody? Glad to be here for another episode of Star Chasers Girls Talk Ball. Shout out to my guy Kelvin, Dak owns Filthy.
What's
Thank
up,
you
guys?
guys for vibing out with us in the chat. Obviously, we know more people gonna be coming in. What's up, Jameson? Really excited to do another episode, and also I want to acknowledge those who may have had family members or friends that was lost in 9/11.
Yeah.
Want to send condolences. I know it's been so long. I was literally in first grade
Wow.
when or
Hold on now.
kindergarten. No, I was in
Hold
first
on.
grade. Yeah, I was in first grade
Yeah.
when 9/11
Yeah.
happened. But
Yeah.
just sending prayers and thoughts to family members, because I know it doesn't matter how long it's been, it's still hard.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Star. Like, I was actually in sixth grade, and I actually remember where I was. I was actually in class. And my parents, my dad actually works in DC. He used to work. He's retired now, but he used to work at the Smithsonian. So,
Oh,
he was like one of the first buildings to be known. So he got out of work early. Came pick me and my brother up from school. My brother was actually in middle school. So it was crazy. We were wondering what's going on, and then we get home. As I started to say, we watch the news, and it's definitely, it definitely resonates. Like you said, even though it's been years, like it doesn't. And even I don't personally have family members affected by it, but just with my dad working in DC, it's definitely emotional. Like you never really know. Like they said, also with the Pentagon being hit. My dad works near used to work near Crystal City as well. So it's just crazy. Like you never know what can happen in a day.
Yeah,
like you said,
any given day. Yeah,
exactly. And especially with like you said, even though it's so long ago, this country just in general, not to talk like politics, but just talking about the country. Like the country goes through a lot. Just over this past few years, so like having tragedies like that happen just makes you definitely appreciate your family members, those in service as well. My parents are retired Army. My brother is currently in the Navy. Star, I don't know if you have any service members in your family, but
actually, my brother-in-law just he's my brother-in-law. But let's call him my brother. Just served 13 years. He finally out, did like 3 tours.
Wow.
So yeah, definitely, and connecting with him is what really made me like have just like a heart for like the military and vets and stuff like that. So, just salute to all the service members and everybody, and not just those in the military, but first responders, firefighters, and police officers, and those who every day put their life on the line to protect us.
So, and those
protect civilian life.
And those who were involved also with the cleanup afterward and the aftermath. It's just so much that just encompasses that whole entire day. And like Star said, definitely prayers to everyone who was affected. And Niecy said she was at work, and she actually said she saw the second plane hit. So that's just crazy. Like it's just sometimes reality it can get a bit too real. You know what I'm saying? So just prayers to everyone who has been affected, and prayers to anyone who is still feeling that pain to this day, because it's definitely not easy. So as we do kind of transition, hopefully kind of smoothly to this win that we're able to get over the weekend. Shout out me and Star were actually kind of talking about before we jumped on here. The Cowboys were able to be able to be victorious week 1, because we know now all these teams came out victorious over the weekend, and we even had surprises like the Bengals coming out struggling. Even with Joe Cool struggling against the Patriots.
I wasn't surprised, because I'm like, this is what Joe Burrow does. People so down on Joe Burrow. I just saw, I forgot what's that guy name on speed, but he just went off. He was going off. Right. Joe Burrow ain't been good. He's 5-5. I was like, God dang, he killed Joe Burrow.
Like, come on,
but Joe Burrow does this. He starts off slow. Joe Burrow got beat by Cooper Rush. Full street. Like,
and that was week 5, so week 1
he's
don't
so
look
weird.
Like what?
He likes starting off slow. I don't know what it is with Joe Burrow and that offense, but somehow he kicks it into gear.
Yeah,
and he'll be going far playoffs. So I mean, let's don't go this year, if he don't go to playoffs this year, or he don't go far, then I feel like okay, maybe we need to start having talks. But
Exactly.
until
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, that the next following, like you say, he's coming back from injury. Kind of shaky. The whole thing going on, losing. I believe they lost Tyler Boyd to Tennessee. T
they
Higgins,
lost Tyler Boyd, and then T
trying to get
Higgins is hurt. And
Yeah.
I tried to tell people. First, shout out to Keystone and James Neesey, everybody.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Sports Junkie as well. What's up?
I try to tell people, everybody was saying we had the worst. You see how people do? In our season, we got the worst running back room in the league and all of this type of stuff. But I was like, are y'all saying that Chase Brown and I forgot the other guy's name is better than what we currently have? And everybody was like, yeah, they're up and coming, But everybody was saying now that running game is kind of struggling. And I'm like,
right, but y'all had us ranked 30. Y'all had us ranked
30 seconds. Like, I just feel like that's crazy. Like,
especially from what we've seen in previous years from Zeke. Even though we were, even me, we were. Well, I'll just say me. I was doubting Zeke coming back for another year, being removed from this offense, and also Rico, his history, Deuce not having many chances outside of preseason. Lipke, who had no snaps, as far as ball handling snaps in preseason. So, and shout out to Malcolm Williams, Lou's takes coming through. Shout out to you. Appreciate you, fam.
Yeah, shout out to Lou. Y'all go subscribe to Lou, Chris, my guy Chris. Yeah. Also, I saw Sports Junkie was in the chat. Shout out to Sports Junkie.
James Simmons, David, shout out to you as well. Yes, RIP to Frankie Beverly. That was crazy. And James Earl Jones as well. I mean, this is just
Jones.
That was crazy. Sis, my heart, like when I saw that in the news, because I'm watching the news, like, okay, what's going on. They said a legend, voice of Mufasa, voice of Darth Vader. I'm like, I know y'all not talking about.
And people been faking that he passed for a long. People will always just be putting that up. But it finally happened, and it's just so sad. It's just
I was surprised. I had heard his voice like in the commercial the other day, and I'm like, oh wow, he did. I did a commercial. I'm like, okay, so he is, around, still living, like you said, living legend, and then. It's just crazy that happens. Big Santana, what's up? Shout out to you as well, coming through. And then they hear the news this morning about Frankie Beverly. I'm like, man, I was raised.
I'm not gonna lie. It's like with Frankie Beverly, I'm not gonna lie. It might be because my age, I didn't know, and my parents didn't listen to the oldies like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was definitely.
My parents grew up super religious, so we didn't listen to like old school music. So it's like I know his songs. But I didn't know that was Frankie Beverly. But anyway, rest in peace to Frankie Beverly for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Keystone King Joffrey, R.I.P. I'm not wholly familiar on King Joffrey, but I think.
Are you talking about from Coming to America?
I think that's his character. Yeah, that's his character.
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about. But
I'm tripping. My bad.
I don't know. Let me see. I think it is from Coming to America.
I think so too.
But that's just
being chat with us. Appreciate everybody jumping in with the show with us. So like we were just talking about, surprise. Speaking of, Star, you brought speaking of the running back room, for Cincinnati, seeing our running backs, kind of, start off that. Well, seeing Zeke, I'll say, kind of start off that game strong. On the first play, going out for a hurdle, getting the first, the second touchdown in the game. I was definitely happy to see that, proud to see that. And like I said, me personally, I was surprised. I was impressed by Zeke's gameplay. I love the agility he shows. I love the speed even he showed, me personally being at camp, I did see some plays out there where, we went out for a deep pass from Zach, or, I did see some burst in camp, but I always go off of what I see with my eyes and real gameplay. So like I said, I was definitely thoroughly impressed by Zeke. And also, with Rico as well, he didn't get, too many opportunities to really have, too many big runs, but did appreciate when he did come out and show. And just, you're really looking forward to what we can, unfortunately we didn't only see Deuce, we'll only get one carry for 4 yards in the entire game, which I didn't really like. But I think with this physical front, I think it was more so for our hammer. I'm saying more for our stouter running backs, and especially seeing the pass protection that they were doing in this game. I mean, especially Zeke kind of landing on the line, stopping. I think it was Grant Delpit coming in at the last minute, kind of stopping that blitz, possible sack.
Yeah.
We took that early sack in the game. So I'm glad that the guys adjusted at the line of scrimmage and was able to, keep Dak upright for the remainder of the game for the most part.
Yeah, I think with our running back room, everybody's like, this is not going to work. It's not going to cut it. And I agree. I mean, the running game did not look great Now Zeke looked good. Zeke did look good.
Yes.
But I've been on the Zeke train. I was never not on Zeke train. So anyway, but or saying he was washing under that crazy stuff. I was going to war with people about Zeke. But Zeke looked very good. Rico didn't look good. Went 8 for 26. I know people put the stats out and said that Rico was facing more stacked boxes than Zeke. But shout out to Law, because Law and Boss was talking about it yesterday on the Final Word, and Law was like, okay, so if 60% of Rico's runs was against a stacked box, what did he do with the other 40%?
That's true. Wow, that's a great point. Yeah. I mean,
I was like, exactly, like he didn't have a good day, guys, and that's okay to just say he didn't really have a good day. He didn't really look great. It's okay, Rico. And I'll admit, if I'm gonna have to be honest, because I was kind of hard on him after this game, but I have to be fair. If I'm going to say, as far as everything else and the offense looking a little bit rusty, I'm gonna say it's just week 1. Give everybody a chance, and I do need to say the same thing for Rico. So I'm not gonna say throw him off the, off a cliff right now, or whatever. Even though he didn't have the best game. I do think Rico's vision kind of struggles a little bit. I don't really know if Rico, people think because he runs hard that like he's an in between the tackles guy, but I'm like, I don't know, because in between the tackles is all about like you have to be able to know the blocks, follow your creases, and all that type of stuff. And sometimes I see Rico, and this is not just from this game, guys. I'm talking about all last year too. Right. I feel like Rico's vision's just not the best, so it may be best to kind of try to get him like in space or like on the edge or something like that, like Tony Pollard, because Tony Pollard also struggled with vision. It's like if the hole is not wide the hell open in the middle, they kind of struggle like, where do I go? What do I do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and to your point, Star, I would love to see, my dad actually kind of pointed this out during the game while we were watching. I'd love to see him kind of have a little bit more burst actually towards the hole instead of doing it. And that's kind of something like what Pollard did every now and then, kind of doing like juke and stuff. Like every now and then you just kind of go for that. You said go for the hole while it's there. Instead of doing all this dance and just burst through the hole and go for it. Just go for the opportunity.
Exactly. It's like just press the hole.
Right.
And I think there was one time I said, damn, if that was Zeke probably would have. Now, I don't know if Zeke would have got a touchdown because he's a little bit slower, so maybe he would have got caught from behind. But I know Zeke would have had a huge game because there was it was all blocked up in the middle, and it's like, Rico, all you had to do was just bounce that outside, and you're likely getting a touchdown.
Right.
And, he just didn't see it, so it's just like, those are the things that we're talking about. I do want to see, and I was happy to hear Mike, Big Mike, Coach Mike McCarthy. I was glad to hear in his presser, the one after the game and ones that he did this week, he said both times he was like, I should have gotten Deuce way more involved. So it sounds like he wants to get Deuce involved, and he had a plan to get him involved, but we did get up significantly, so we kind of went very vanilla with the play call in the second half. And there was also some drives where penalties for some reason, I don't know, I guess it may be just a new environment and stuff like that, but we had a lot of penalties on offense.
And on big plays, like, Star. On big plays, girl. Exactly. Yeah, like, it was crazy. Like, we had that Brandon Cooks run, and we don't very rarely.
That Brandon Cooks run was huge.
And I'm like, yo, are you serious, bro? I'm like,
so penalty, it literally wiped out some things. And so, of course, if you're 2nd and 15 or whatever, you're not about to run the ball. So it's just, I think it was just those issues. But hopefully, this week versus the Saints, we can see a little bit better vision. Because from Mike McCarthy, what he showed on Sunday was not his vision for how he wanted to utilize the backs, so hopefully on Sunday, versus the Saints, we can see a little bit more of the vision. We can get a little bit better of the idea. I do want to see Cooks. But I do want to see, let's give, I'm all for this. Like, of course I'm all for upgrades, but I do want to tell people, like, it is just one game. Let's give these guys at least to like week 4 or 5 before we say, okay, who are the positions that we need to attack at the trade deadline?
Right.
That's how I feel. Like, let's just give him some time. I understand it didn't look great, but let's give him some time, see how these guys adjust. And if they're still not, looking great by week 4 or 5, then yeah, you do need to start. And I'm sure they already are doing that, because kind of segueing into another topic, we restructured Terrence Steele's contract.
Right.
And we already have like 25 million in the cap for 2025. That's without money that we can roll over. And it's like, it was just no reason to restructure Terrence Steele's contract right now. Because people are saying, well, what about Micah? And I'm like, yeah, but apparently we already have the cap and stuff to pay Micah. And so I'm like, they didn't, even if you were going to use it for Micah, unless you're going to pay Micah right now, there was no reason to restructure. And it sounds like Micah they're not doing contract negotiations in the season. Micah wants to wait till after the season now. So I'm like, they've got to be trying to pursue somebody. I'm just not sure who they are. You got to take our overlay, but I'm just not sure who would we be pursuing?
Exactly.
So I was thinking, like, we could kind of brainstorm and just kind of think, and y'all can put it in the chat too. Like, who do y'all think, what position? Because clearly I think they're going after somebody, but I just don't know who it is, like, in what position. So what do you think?
No, because to your earlier point, Star, about the trade deadline, like you said, and then around week 5, week 6, and actually week 7 is actually our bye. So, actually having a variety of games going against a variety of teams. I mean, with the next few weeks, we do have, some strong defenses. We're going against the Saints defense. We had the Steelers defense week 5, and then, we do have the Giants. So even though, that is the Giants, that another, there's someone in our division that we do a game that we do have to win.
I mean, so that's still that's still a good defensive line, period.
Yeah, exactly. And
they got better because they added Brian Burns. So, yeah.
Exactly, to your point. So, like you said, just a variety of teams that we'll face. So then hopefully we'll be able to see, like you said, what spaces we are weakened, because, unfortunately, we did see, coming up later in the show, we'll talk about the injury report. We did see Marshawn Nealon, unfortunately, now dealing with a calf injury. He actually didn't even participate in practice today. So I don't know if that'll be something that they'll, position that they'll attack, because we do have, depth. We have Golston, Tyrus Wheat, did get some very good run in preseason. So, they do have some guys to pair up, to kind of help out with that. But that's just something I was, kind of sad to see. I mean, Marshawn Nealon played a really, great game this past weekend, and just so early in the season, I hate to see kind of something like that pop for him, especially for him to pop up on the injury report like that.
Yeah, I think that that's fair. I think that with Marshawn Nealon, I don't know how serious his injury is, but y'all remember I put out the report when Steven talked to Jory Epstein. This was a few weeks ago, like a month ago now, when he told Jory, like, we're trying to get CD and Mike. I mean, not CD and Micah, but CD and Dak signed so that we can go out and get a big nose tackle or a premium pass rusher. Because right now you don't. I wouldn't say you have any premium pass rushers outside of Micah right now. Now, Marshawn Nealon had a hell of a game, but again, if he's got a hammy, that might sideline him for a little bit.
Yeah. It was a calf.
Oh, sorry, a calf injury. So I don't know how severe or significant that is.
Right.
But and then you also have D-Law, under this Zimmer scheme, this man had 2 sacks. We won. Probably should have had about 4 or 5 sacks.
Correct. But in the backfield,
so, you still want reinforcement. So I would definitely be in the market for a pass rusher for sure.
Yeah.
That's one that I feel like
a particular pass rusher who's on. I mean, I know we're looking for a new contract, but a particular pass rusher who's on a holdout.
Hassan Reddick.
Right. All right. I think you get me, Star. I think
exactly. Hassan Reddick. And I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, it would be crazy if we could bring in Hassan Reddick, and I just feel like he would play so hard for us because
right.
One, he's not happy with the situation and how it went down in Philly. So imagine Philly sending him to the AFC, and then we get him right back. Like I really think like that's a premium pass rusher that is going to get you 10 plus sacks. This is like a 10 plus sack guy. So, like this guy, I definitely would be in the market to get Hassan Reddick. Now, the only issue is the contract. I don't know what he's necessarily asking for. That's the only issue, because the Jets haven't even negotiated with him, so I don't know what the hell the Jets. I'm like, why did y'all? I don't know what the Jets are doing. But
and another thing, I mean, if he was holding out from the Jets camp, I mean, would it be like a similar situation to where we have to ramp him up as well if we do bring him up, because we have Carl Lawson?
You definitely gonna have to ramp him up because he hasn't played no football at all.
Right.
I think obviously if Nealon is out this game, they're gonna elevate Carl Lawson for sure. Yeah. And I mean, who knows? Maybe Carl Lawson goes the hell off, and they're like, "Nah, we don't need nobody." But
just like you said, David, Carl Lawson. Yeah, I mean,
you could never be too good, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm also, if you can go out and get a premium player,
facts,
then you go out and get him. I'm even up for getting a premium wide receiver. I don't know who it will be, but maybe somebody like a Deontay Johnson, or I'm trying to think of like who else could be out there where it's like, oh, we can make a trade for him because he's not really fit in his current system. I don't know, but I definitely think that if you can upgrade and make a trade, you go ahead and do it. You go ahead and do it because you feel good about this year, and you just want to have reinforcements. David said Adams wide receiver. Somebody else, I was talking in the DMs with my guy Martin about that, about possibly because Adams, it was reports that he wasn't happy in Vegas. Now, he did come out and say, no, I'm fine. But no, he's not. He don't have a quarterback over there. Right. So, hasn't worked out. Been over there 2 years. Low-key, there were reports that he was waiting because he was hoping that the Raiders might have been able to get Dak. But I'm sorry, you're not getting Dak.
Not at all. Right.
You're not getting Dak because Dak got his money. He'll be a Cowboy for life.
You got about 4 years to maybe think about it.
Exactly. But y'all ain't getting Dak, so it's like maybe now this is the Mike McCarthy guy.
Right. Facts.
I mean, Cooks, Devontae Adams,
bro,
CD Lamb,
and it's crazy. They just had that joint interview, I think today or yesterday. CD Lamb and Devontae Adams.
So that could be another connection. And Devontae Adams loves CD Lamb.
Right. And he said, "I ain't got your jersey, CD. I made space on the wall for your jersey, CD." So I wouldn't be mad.
So I think if it's possible, if we can pull it off, I mean, that would be incredible. That's what you're talking about. All in. You go out and get Devontae Adams.
Right. Devontae Adams certainly spells all in, because, I mean, we always talking about getting CD another threat on the other side of the field, right? And shout out to Cooks. We love the connection that they made. I mean, had the first touchdown pass of the game. We see that timing.
But Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams. Yeah. Devontae Adams is like Hall of Fame. It's like, we're not taking it. I think Cooks is going to be good. Yeah. But I think you can get, if you can get Devontae Adams, go ahead and get him. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. And I love Tolbert, and I love Brooks, and I love Tolbert. I love those guys.
Right. If
you can get Devontae Adams, I think you have to go ahead and pull the trigger and get that.
Right. Because Tolbert, you're not going nowhere. You're a draft pick for, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you're going to be here. You know what I'm saying? Brooks, you're a draft pick as well. You know what I'm saying? So, and Flournoy. You know what I'm saying? Florida, they had you on reserve right now, so y'all ain't got to worry about nothing.
Y'all gonna be here.
Would be the only one that got a quote unquote worry, and he has his contract for this year, so he not going nowhere. So like you said, Star, for them to bring in somebody like that and someone that CD admires, we saw how crazy CD went over them bringing in T.Y. Hilton. It's no shade, but this is CD's literal idol.
Yeah,
who he still looks up to today. Even CD said, "Hey, I'm you've been doing it for us, before for opening the door for us. He said pretty much model my game after you and keep doing it even after you. So like this guy, he still idolizes this guy, and you know what I'm saying. So that was just like Star. That was like you talk about bringing the fan base back in. You know what I'm saying? And we already had week 1 where we kind of can see where kind of feel our team. You know what I'm saying? Kind of feel our team out, and we see what our defense is about. Just kind of summing up the Browns game. We see how well Zimmer had these guys prepare. Right? I mean, even early in the week, Leofow said, "Hey." And really not just Leofow, but we seen really with the whole defense, like he pretty much said, like, I'm gonna put you in these positions. You don't have to think too. Not saying you don't have to think too hard, but you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna put you. Make the scheme work for you. You know what I'm saying? That's something that we know. something I heard on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, where they said Zimmer, kind of takes the strengths of all his, and that's something that was a huge point, that he takes the strengths of all his players, puts them in the correct positions, brings in the right guys. You bring in Limbaugh, Joseph, Phillips, who you saw, kind of transitioning, kind of at the same time, sounds at the sideline. You saw that veteran leadership.
Right.
You saw them explaining.
Right, that was a
situations.
Good point.
Like, it was huge, and not just those two. You saw Kendricks talking to Parsons. You saw Kendricks talking to defense. Even after Turpin's punt return, he's even telling them, "Hey, y'all, this is where we go crazy, but don't go too crazy. Be patient. Still stay with the techniques. Still stay level-headed." But it was amazing, Star. Amazing. Like, thinking sounds of the sidelines couldn't get any better, but seeing that veteran leadership on the sideline and seeing these guys just take the tutelage from these guys and saying, "Hey," and even hearing Limbaugh Joseph say, "If you execute what we did in practice, you'll see that it's going to work, and you'll see the success that we're looking for."
That was a good
amazing.
Point. That was a good amazing point, and see that Micah was really listening.
Star, talk about that, because you
just got in the building.
Micah always
like right.
No, okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Limbaugh just got in the building, but you can already see how he's commanding respect. Because he's one of the best defensive tackles to ever do it. Yes, he's old now. He's longer than 2, but that's what we say. The wisdom. And when I saw Limbaugh on the field and I saw Jordan Phillips on the field, I saw them holding up their blocks.
Right.
I saw them doing I saw Jordan Phillips crush the Deshaun Watson.
Ooh, you saw that line drive going straight like a beeline, like
it was
a bulldozer.
It was a different level, but I saw it in all of them, not just Phillips but I saw it with Osa. Right. Osa, many people wasn't paying attention, but him and Mozzie was both knocking their guys back continuously and getting us pressure. So it's only just continuing to build. Right. But talking about what you said with Zimmer, this is a guy that your defense looks great. Everybody's like, "Oh, this defense is amazing," but he's like, "Yeah, it's some things we could have done better." And he's like, "I should have been better for Micah." And so I like that this guy is like not good enough, because you need to be getting better. And one of their focuses this year, theme-wise, is you want to get 1% better every day.
Correct.
Get 1% better every day. And so I think it's breeding throughout the whole organization of just get a little bit better. There's always room to improve. And I'm glad that it seems like the players know that too. They're like, there was, there's way more room to grow. We didn't really show much. We only showed 3 sets out of like 50.
Right.
And then Micah said today, Zim developed a new set, because he's like, I need to ensure that Micah doesn't get chipped. So he's like, Micah said that today. He just said in his interview that Zimmer invented a new set for him so that he doesn't get chipped. So
even after not even addressing 47 out of the 50 sets, y'all, he created a whole nother one.
He created a whole new set for him. So it's like, these guys are serious. And it's like, I remember watching the game, and I was like, even though it wasn't great, it was sloppy. Somebody said nobody else was out besides Dak. I'm like, no, I think the whole offense to me did you see all those penalties? Like, they was definitely off. Yes. But what I'm saying is, regardless of being off, you blew out a really good team.
Right.
And I don't think
held off the defensive player of the year.
Right.
Held off the 2023 defensive player of the
year, and didn't allow. Now he did get a strip sack fumble on Tyler Guyton, but in just a way. But that's what I said. The seriousness, like, it really felt like the boys, the coaches, they poured their all into the Browns.
Yeah.
So even though the game wasn't clean as you would want it, like, you still blew out a team that went 11-6 with no quarterback, without Nick Chubb, and people not saying it, but their tackles was out last year, and that team still went 11-6. Right. So you need to feel damn proud, regardless that it's week 1, but you need to feel proud that we didn't only beat that team, but we blew that team out. But anyway, go
Right.
ahead, sis.
Right. No, no. Another point to the sounds of the sideline is the accountability, and even the post game interviews, and even interviews, some of the interviews given today, you see the accountability. You need, they're kind of joking about it. You hear them say, "Oh, hey, Kaylin, you owe us about 70 push-ups for the picks you left out there."
Right,
You know what I'm saying? And
accountability,
hey, dig.
exactly.
Even though we know you're coming back from your injury, but how many picks you missed out there? How Harris was like,
Right.
"Hey,
And Harris, he
there's
said,
still some
why it
out
take
there."
you so long? Why you
Yeah,
take you so long?
you know
And
what I'm
then you
saying?
see how Zanina and Ellis was on Michael like,
And
bro, you
D-Law.
missed two
And,
sacks. That's unacceptable. And Michael was
and
like, I know
right.
that was terrible. They were like, yeah, bro, like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like,
Right.
you can't be missing sacks. That's
Right.
another thing I want to talk about. Not to get too far off topic, but with Micah, I don't know if you're listening. I know your brother follows my show and stuff like that.
Right.
Micah, when Micah be tackling, when he tries to get sacks, he's such a nice guy. So when he kind of like lets up and tries to like arm sling people to the ground because he's not trying to hurt them. But I'm like, Micah, you need to tackle through these guys, Mike. I know you're not trying to injure, but Micah, this is football.
No, and
we can't be missing tackles because it's like, imagine if Deshaun Watson kind of got loose and then threw a touch. Like, those are things that could affect the game. You have to wrap up and you have to tackle.
No, that's a huge point, Star, and that's something I actually said to my pops during the game. It's like, and to that point, and also to maybe this, some of the ref work from last season. Hey, every time Micah will never get called for holding, but you touch the quarterback, you automatically get a penalty for unnecessary roughness and things like that. So, and just like to your point, he doesn't, like you say, even though he's going low, he's not going fully through tackles because he doesn't want a flag thrown. He doesn't want to, quote unquote, set back the defense because he's trying to be Micah, like you said. But at the same time, it's like you said, if a play, if a play gets blown, I mean, they look at Micah like, oh man, you didn't put your all through. You didn't
right, exactly. So it's like, Micah, you have to understand, like, you don't want to hurt these players or whatever, but it's just the fundamental of tackling. You can't arm sling people because especially a guy like Deshaun Watson, he just got out of that.
Yeah,
like every time he was just getting out of y'all's sacks because y'all weren't tackling through him. You know what I'm saying? Right. So absolutely. That's just a little critique. Now, granted, Micah had a fabulous game, and that's just a small glimpse. The way that he impacted the game, I think he had like 11 pressures. He should have had like 3 to 4 sacks. But anyway, had a sack, 11 pressures, tip ball pass deflection that got Eric Kendricks a interception.
Facts.
The pressure that he was creating in the middle got D-Law one of his sacks. So you could just feel the presence of Micah Parsons. And I like that Zimmer was like, I'm not satisfied. I need to do more. I need to do more. I need to be more. And I love that because it's like, you got to get better. And, I hope that, and I think the reason why we call this show Staying Rooted, because even though these guys had a great game, they know how they made mistakes last year. They know what happened when they looked ahead, and when they looked ahead, we lost.
Right.
I think this year we will only be looking at the opponents in front of us. And I'm thankful that the Saints blew out the Panthers. So now you can't say, oh, it's just the same. No. That team put up 47, 48 points. They have a new offensive coordinator now that's from the Kyle Shanahan tree.
Right.
Defense held the pen. Now, granted, the Panthers are not good, but their defense still held them to 14, 17 points. So the Saints are the real deal and have the potential to be a playoff team. And I hope that every week we just continue to stay rooted, continue to stay where our feet are, and continue just to focus on the opponent in front of us. Because if we can focus on the opponent in front of us, then we will eventually get to where we want to be.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Star. Before we get too far into the Saints game, I want to shout out Lee Harrison on the
Yeah,
Facebook
what's up,
group.
Lee?
I think I don't know if he's the only one watching on my Facebook, but really appreciate you, fam.
What's up, Lee?
Yeah,
Also, 100 grand was in here. Shout out to
yeah,
100 grand.
yeah.
And
Shout out to
Serge.
Serge. Yeah, Serge 707 too. We saw you sneaking in earlier as
What's
well.
up, Serge? And I think I
Yeah,
shouted at you out Choctaw, but thank you
yeah,
for everybody in the chat for
yeah,
sure. And
yeah. Thanks for
Keystone
some
said
love.
Derek Carr
Appreciate
gonna
you.
break that as well. So wrap up. Now with Derek Carr is the tier of Baker Mayfield, the tier of Jared Goff.
Right.
These guys, they can't really, they're not really athletic. They have a little bit of escapability, but with Derek Carr, I want him going in there feeling like the man when he walked through. That's what I want. Because you feel like that, you're gonna be making mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
And I agree, the Panthers are trash talk out. So, but regardless,
yeah,
you put up 48 points on them. Did we put up 48 points last year against the Panthers? Hell no. It was a close game. It was a close game. So,
facts. Right.
So, it's just good night, Jameson. Thank you for coming and chat with us. But
thanks, Jameson. See you later.
We just got to continue to stay focused and stay rooted. That's why I love the thing is like stay rooted. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't be looking, we got the Ravens now. We don't need to be worried about. We'll worry about the Ravens.
Yeah,
Ravens
like for real.
week.
Like I heard, like in one of Nick's spaces, I heard like right after the game. Of course, I heard a Cowboys fan come on. Yeah, I'm looking right past the Saints. I'm looking talking about the Ravens. And even Nick was like, hold on now. Like, do not get ahead of yourself because we saw, even. Like Star kind of alluded to earlier, like, not to get too. We want the Cowboys to get too ahead of themselves. It's a home game. They're going to be a little bit more comfortable getting to sleep in their own beds and things like that. But we saw how we thought we were at home during that playoff game, right? We thought we were going against the 7th seed. We got them. They're the youngest team in the NFL. Da da da. Like Star said, no, like she kind of mentioned with the theme this year, staying rooted, like you said, stay humble. You know what I'm saying? Like the 2025 Super Bowl performer said, stay humble, sit down. Even though it's a humble, even though it's a home game, please do not, don't think this is the Saints of yesteryear. This is a different Saints team coming into the building this weekend.
Exactly. And that's just, we just got to stay. I just want us to take every team seriously. And I think that's the problem. Like, there's some teams that we overlook, but we have to realize it doesn't matter how these teams look versus this team or that team. When these teams play the Dallas Cowboys, they pull out all stops. They get up to play us. Just like the Green Bay Packers. Everybody, they suck. They defense trash. They look at this film. We said all of that stuff and then made us look silly.
Right. So look how they play. Look how they play Philly though.
Exactly. Look how they play Philly. Look at what Jair Alexander,
penalties.
Like, these guys don't be good, but when they play us, they play like it's the Super Bowl. They play like they ain't gonna play another game. So that's why we have to, no matter what the record is or what the team is, we have to stay focused on the team in front of us. So I thank Coach Mike McCarthy for giving us that theme. So for not only the team, but for us as the fans, because us as the fans, we got ahead of ourselves as well. And it's like, now we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. We will continue to just focus on the team in front of us. And then once we beat them, on to the next one. That's how you just keep doing it. On to the next one, on to the next one, until you eventually get to where you want to go.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I don't know, I think we kind of jumped into the show, but we shouldn't have to say it, but make sure you guys like the video, make sure you guys share the video, hit subscribe. I know, hit our cash apps as well if you guys are in the mood to donate tonight. Shout out to Amp coming through. What's up? How you doing?
Yeah, shout out to Amp. Y'all go subscribe to Amp Sports for sure.
Yeah, and definitely, like you said, please, no more Arizona moments. We don't need, it happened in week 3 last season. We don't need a week 2 moment this season. Shout out to Stephen White. What's up, fam?
What's up, Stephen? Glad to see you.
And James Simmons, I don't know if we shouted you out earlier, but thank you for coming through as well, showing love, support. And actually, before we move on to the Saints game, did you have a star for the Browns game? If you guys been following us for a while since last season, star maker maker is a player that we choose from the game that we think, of course, showed out, balled out, did it, made an impact on this team and, make great plays in this game. And we know there's been a lot of talk, around players for this game, overshown. Kendrick kind of, did his thing in the game. Personally, that's my, that's my star maker. But, did you have a star maker in mind, Star?
So you picked Overshown?
Oh, no, I picked Kendricks.
Oh, you picked Kendricks. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you pick Kendricks, then I'll pick Overshown.
Okay, awesome.
I think clearly Overshown was just screaming off the screen. You know what I'm saying? Just to have him back. I mean, people didn't realize, but it was a huge. That's a good one. Amp.
Yeah.
Actually,
That's
I will
a great one.
Mike Zimmer. And that's why I had put, I put in our thought bubbles on our thumbnail, and I was like, can Mike Zimmer help Dak get over the hump? And I think he can, because when you think about it, you go through Dak's history in the playoffs. 2016 starts off slow, which is normal because he was a rookie, right? So you start off slow. You're playing the GOAT. You're playing Aaron freaking Rodgers.
Right.
You roar your team back to tie the game. And you don't get back on the field because your defense gives up a 3rd and 20 or something like that. 3rd and 20. And I think the play before that, our safety, I forgot what his name was, but what was our safety? He was I can't think of his name right now, but our safety at the time literally missed a strip sack fumble that he should have got that would have likely ended the game. So when you think about that, we end up losing to a field goal, 28-31. Heartbreaking. Just heartbreaking that Dak's defense did that to him. Then we missed it in 2017. That was a weird year. Zeke was out from that stupid suspension he should have never got. Then you move
Byron Jones.
No, I'm not talking about Byron. I'm talking about Byron. He was Jeff Heath. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jeff Heath. Okay. Then you move on to 2018. Next time Dak's in the playoffs. Who does he got to play? Prime Russell Wilson in the Legion of Boom, right?
Right.
And beats Prime Russell Wilson. Then you get to the Rams game against, I think the Rams were probably like a top 5 defense or whatever that year. And your defense can't stop anything. Dak, no picks, 2 touchdowns, had like an 80 QBR. Oh, what's up, Mark? What's up?
Hey,
Mark
what's good, Mark? How you guys? How you doing?
The OG Mark, love Mark.
Yes. Make sure you guys subscribe to Mark. Cowboys
please go
Twitter.
subscribe to Mark.
Please, make sure you guys give him a follow, please.
Please go follow. That's the OG. I love Mark. What was I saying? Then you go to 2018.
You're talking about the Rams defense.
Right, Rams defense was great. Zeke couldn't do nothing. Zeke had like 40 yards in that game. Dak plays great, has an 80 QBR, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and still ends up losing that game because I think, what did they do? They let Jared Goff scramble for a first down. We lose the game. So what I'm trying to tell you is, then you go to 2000 and we don't get back in the playoffs till 2021. We got to face the 49ers that had the top defense. Mark said he got to get you over for a game.
Oh, right. But, we definitely got to do that. That is right. Yeah, I keep forgetting of that.
Y'all need to get together for sure. I'm going
to get at you when I get off here, Mark. Hey, what's up, J Money? How you doing?
You go to 2021. You got to play the number 1 defense with Kellen Moore, who got this stupid system where we wasn't targeting Amari. We wasn't targeting CD.
Right.
Schultz had the most targets, I think. And we didn't run the ball with Zeke and Tony Pollard. We didn't run the ball.
And after Pollard going down, we don't go to Malik Davis.
Right. No, but that's in 2022. This is in 2021 when we got first round. Then the defense it was just penalty after penalty with the defense. And the defense couldn't stop the run that day, the run that day either. And still, we have that game in the crux of our heads, if I'll never forgive you, Cedric Wilson, Dak throws a fadeaway ball while he's literally getting tackled by 2 to 3 49ers right in his hands. Right in his hands. Right in his hands. He drops it. We end up, it was a turnover on downs. Then we come back, and then that's when the stupid play, the ref was in the way.
Right.
Dak doesn't get down in time to save the clock. So this is what I'm saying. Like, it's always something. So when we talk about, can he get him over the hump? And we're going 2022, defense played phenomenal. So defense was not an issue in 2022. Clearly, It was the offense. We know that. But then you go to 2023, defense. This is what I'm talking about. We need a defensive coordinator. We've been needing a defensive coordinator that not only talks about stopping the run, but that believes it, and that is a big part of their scheme to stop the run. And we see that in Zimmer. We see how they know how to play gas, how they know how to be a Simon sound. They're not getting full with motion. That used to be, what's up, the lunatic? That used to be our Achilles heel, motion. We're like, oh God, this team there's a lot of motion. Our linebackers going to be totally confused. And so now it looks like we're not going to have that issue. It looks like, and the team already week 1, because some people were concerned about will these players buy in. But I'm like, the players looked like a reflection of Zim. They were serious. They were down to business. And we know that now, even if mistakes are made, you have Zim and you have his entire coaching staff that don't play no BS, that will be able to get them back on track and not just allow your defense to unravel.
I definitely agree with you, Star. It's just the way that, before I'll say in the off season, we all we could do was talk about it, right? All we could talk about the influence that Zimmer can have on this team, the coaches that he brought in along with him, right? But now we're able to actually feel it. We can feel the energy, and that's kind of partly the reason why I chose Kendrick as my star maker of the game, because he just, they talk about his knowledge that he has for the game, the knowledge of Zim's defense, and just kind of watching some of his interviews throughout the week. He was on with Chad Johnson and who's that? Shannon Sharp, of course. But I think they were doing like a different setting. But he did an interview with them. He did an interview with Cowboys Hour, I think, a couple days ago. And you just kind of hear, like, and just listening to his background, he said, he was kind of thrown into the situation. I think in college, he said there was a teammate in front of him where, unfortunately, he was I think forced to medically retire, so that kind of forced Kendrick out front and center into the mic role, and kind of forced him into a mentorship role to where he had to lead his team. So he said ever since then, it just, because he just and I think it's I forget. I'm sorry, y'all. At the top right now, it's on tip of my tongue. The guy, and it's Nicole Hutchinson. I forget the guy who she hosts the show with Cowboys Hour, but he asked him the question, like, sometimes players are just born for these roles, and he said, yeah, when I was kind of thrown into that position, I felt like I was born for it, and he said that was kind of a reason why he decided to come to Dallas as opposed to San Francisco, right? He said he knows Fred Warner is the 49ers Mike linebacker. So he said, hey, instead of having to play, next to this guy, why not come to the Cowboys where I can lead this defense? I'm familiar with the defense. I used to run it before. Zim's my guy. I see he's going to Dallas. We could turn over a new leaf here. I can, teach these young guys. It's pretty much a whole room. Like, it's pretty much, number one, a whole room, vets and young guys, but for most part, young guys, Scott McCurley just quote unquote wants bodies in the room. So why not bring in, number one, a coordinator who can kind of flip not just the defense, but kind of flip the attitude of the defense. Like you said, kind of come in, teach them discipline, reteach them, if you will, new techniques, fundamentals. Even Al Harris said, hey, it's easier to teach these younger guys while they're still easier to really be formed, kind of like Clay, right? You can teach them the right ways as opposed to teaching veterans, because, they've learned, not necessarily bad mistakes from other coaches, but, they've learned techniques, over years and years of being in the league. So it's kind of more difficult to teach a veteran guy, if you will, you guys. I'm not saying more difficult, but you guys know what I mean. But, that's really what really impresses me, because like you said, Star, everyone essentially has bought in. Even Zimmer said in his press conference, like, hey, there were a couple guys who I had to kind of nudge, but really I had no pushback. You heard that, right? Said, so look,
I heard it.
You have the whole room who's just willing to soak up the knowledge, like from Hooker to guys like Dono who were in meetings. Dono hardly ever, to my knowledge, hardly ever does media, answers questions, things like that. So to hear him tell, beat reporters, hey man, I'm in the room, I'm learning, like, hey, I forget what they say he said, but like I said, he very rarely does interviews. So just number one to get words out of the guy, but to see
true.
that
I
everyone
don't know,
is willing.
hardly ever. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Like
you know what I'm
everybody
saying? So
is just focused and feel like they
right.
completely bought in and completely locked in. Because
Yeah.
I think, and Zimmer said it, he was like, they bought in because I don't mind. I explained to them. Right? Remember, we've been talking about this all off season, how Zimmer is a teacher. He teaches them. He explains to them, you're doing this because if you don't do this, then this will happen. And this is why we run this type of coverage, because we're trying to get them to do this. We're trying to do this. So it's like, because he explains to them the plan, that's what got them to buy in, because these players, they want to win a Super Bowl. They want to get to the. You think these players want to keep? Oh, y'all can't never get to it. Y'all haven't even been to an NFC championship. You think they want to keep hearing that stuff over and over and over again? Of course not. So they want to win, but Zimmer had to show them, like, I know how to win. I know how to make y'all look good, and I put my all into making y'all look good and y'all having success if y'all would trust me. So I feel like now, after week 1, now he's gone. He's not saying they didn't trust him before, but now they see. Okay,
they can see it. They see the results.
Right, exactly. You see, they see now. Okay, we see it now, and so that's why I really think that. It was Nate Newton that said in the offseason when we hired him that he was going to be our first round pick and he was going to be the difference maker. And I really do feel like having Zimmer here, we have not had a defensive coordinator of his caliber. Since I don't know. I have to go back a while because and even though you'll bring up Dan Quinn, but I think this is what Dan Quinn is. Like, Dan Quinn is a guy that Zimmer is better than Dan Quinn. And he's better than Dan Quinn because he focuses on how to mold his scheme to his players instead of molding the players to the scheme.
Right.
And we just saw issues with that. I'm not saying Dan Quinn is a trash coach or anything like that. I'm just saying that he has a different philosophy. And one thing, and just to be petty, everybody who was, every time Washington Commanders signed a linebacker, oh God, Dan Quinn's got linebackers. It was Jerry and Steven, all of this crazy stuff.
Right.
Go and look at the game they just played on Sunday. Once again, had safeties, Jeremy Chin playing linebacker. That is his philosophy. That is who he is. Like, that's who he is. So I knew it. I knew everybody was like, oh, he believes in light. It was the front office. They sabotaged it. No, I was like, that is Dan Quinn's philosophy and scheme. It was him that wanted all them safeties, that said, we don't need linebackers. We don't need nose tackles in my scheme. So that was Dan Quinn. So it's like, I'm just glad that we got that way of thinking out. And Am said, Rob Marinelli was a good. Actually, you know what? I will say Rob Marinelli, old man Rob Marinelli was good.
That's right. Yeah,
he made lemons out of Dookie. You know what I'm saying? Like that personnel that Rob Marinelli had was not good.
Right.
And he had, there was especially that 2004. I think, what was that? The 2014 season. He had that defense playing lights out, and it was not nobody really good on there. So I 100% agree. Yeah, since Papa Rod, but I think Zim is even better than Papa Rod because remember Papa Rod was also upfield, just get upfield, just get sacks. He wasn't trying to stop the run neither.
Yeah, and just to your point about really the differences between DQ and Zimmer. I mean, even Kendrick said that he's learned the most football under Zimmer. Period. Right. I'm saying, like you said, hey, Joe Rivera. I'm not sure we ever seen you before. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate
up, Joe?
You.
And also, I forgot to shout out my guy $100 grand. I don't know if you're still in the chat, $100 grand, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you. He's always a loyal supporter. I don't want anybody to think that I intentionally did not shout them out. So I'm sorry if I missed you.
We got you guys.
Anyway.
We got you. Yeah. Go ahead. No, just saying that, like you said. I mean, like I was saying earlier, just about Kendrick just being able to kind of get all this knowledge that he has, and like I said, you can just kind of feel it with these young players. I mean, we saw a great game out of our rookies. Overshown had an amazing game. Maris Leofau, even the stats that he was able to give on defense, we saw him in the backfield. That was, I mean, that was amazing. Like you said, talking about the Micah Parsons effect. I mean, yeah, we expect guys like D Law and even Golston, running some similar lanes. Micah Parsons getting some pressure back there, but to see a foul back there, you know what I'm saying? And to make it, just even seeing him make that big hit on special teams, I'm like, yo, like this kid.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
Maris was playing. He was playing with his head
on
on fire, and he was taking pride in those special team snaps. You could see it. Yeah, and special teams is very important. Yes. Special teams can win you games. So that's why there's 3 phases to the game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's why Bones wanted to do the change of the kickoff and stuff like that, because he was like, we're effectively now eliminating special teams from the game. So we're trying to get special teams more of a factor, because everybody could just kick the ball out, just a touchback. Your special teams is pretty much non-existent. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad about the change and stuff like that. But
definitely me too. I mean, I'm actually proud of our special teams. I mean, like you just said, a lot of people kind of keep special teams out of their mind. But even with the rule change, I was still kind of skeptical on it, because I mean, we see a lot of flags, and what it seems to be like more flags than before. But I think maybe as the season goes on, I'm sure
it'll settle. I think it'll settle down.
Yeah, get more settled and shout out to our other special team members, not just Turpin, but like I said in my show the other day, Trent Siege laying. I think he had 2 big hits on special teams. Then we saw we seen guys like Izzy come out, getting blocks. Even Deuce coming out, getting some.
Yeah, Deuce led that block,
girl. You know what I'm saying?
It was him, and I forgot, but that block that got Turpin, that touchdown.
Yeah,
so
I think it was Izzy. It was Izzy and Deuce that was right out in front. Right. Hey, Landlord, what's up,
fam? Up, Landlord? Glad to see Landlord. Y'all tuned in. Y'all subscribe to Landlord. Y'all subscribe to Landlord for sure. One of the best. Great Cowboys content creators. Yeah. But 71-yard field goal is crazy. Yeah. Like, we have weapons on special. Yeah. We have weapons on special teams, and I hate the people. Oh, it doesn't matter. They got all pro. That's just special teams. Like what? Like. Okay. And everybody is talking about our kicker now. Like y'all got yourselves a weapon. Yeah. You have yourself a weapon in Brandon Aubrey. So stop discrediting him, because he's just a kicker.
Yeah. and to that point, we definitely have to keep an eye on the Saints kicker. Not saying he's an Aubrey, but I think he made a 57-yarders over this past weekend. So defense, please keep their offense, before, really steeped in their own territory. I would love to see that, because they play a lot tighter, a lot better, deeper in the opponent's territory. But if we could kind of keep them, out of the, 50, 40-yard range on our side of the field, that would definitely help us out a lot, because their kicker did, definitely made a couple long kicks, over this past weekend.
And I think, when we can close out, because I do got to get over here in a minute, but just ending, this show to talk a little bit just about the Saints. Yeah. The Saints, you got Derek Carr, who's, like I said, he's in that tier of Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield. Clearly, Baker Mayfield had like 4 touchdowns, I think. No, Baker had 3, and Derek Carr had like 4 or 5 touchdowns. It was crazy. Right. But these are you have a decent quarterback, and then if they're able to protect him, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure, but they did get. I think they got Talisi Fuaga, in the draft, and he looks amazing. Yeah. Like this past draft tackle offensive line class was crazy. It was crazy. So.
Yeah.
So that that's one thing to look at. And their wide receivers, they got A.T. Perry, and they got the other guy, I think his name is like Rashid Shaheen.
Yeah, Olave.
He can be kind of, but Olave obviously is the guy he's gotten 1,000 yards. I think they said 1,000 yards every year since he's been in the league, regardless of the quarterback. So
and also to your point, Shaheed does do special teams over there as well, and he's fast. So we had to keep an eye on him when he does bring the ball out.
He's fast, and then you got it'll be they're a good, but their strength I will say their strength of their team is on their defensive side of the ball.
Facts. No, I definitely agree.
Yeah, and they slowly been beefing up. If y'all look at like their past drafts and stuff like that, they slowly been beefing up that defense. And so I do think that defense, and then they just have, like Chase Young is like second on their, he's second team over there. So like they clearly have a defense. To be honest, I have to look at the film to see like how necessarily we should attack them, if it's better to run on them or pass. I don't know.
Yeah, they have Demario Davis is over there as over there as well. Really, we talk about a vet's vet. He's been in the league for about, I think, 12, 13 years. One of those guys who take care of his body. You know what I'm saying? He's still making plays, and they also have a Tyrann Mathieu as well. They definitely have, talking about their roster.
Tyrann Mathieu, you have Marshawn Lattimore.
Right.
They have.
He actually popped up on the injury report, I believe, with a hamstring. He's actually one of the guys who didn't participate. So we have to keep an eye on that, going into the weekend as well.
They have another corner over there that I think is kind of good.
Actually, Alante
Taylor.
Yes, he had 3 sacks.
He's their nickel corner, and he's good.
Facts.
He is good.
Facts. So he had 3 sacks off the line this weekend, you guys. 2 off a blitz.
3 sacks is crazy.
Yeah. Like you said, he played the same position as Jay Lou. Like we talk about Jay Lou being a sound tackler and making plays off that line.
So
guys,
that's him.
Keep an eye out. Yeah, keep an eye out for.
So they probably definitely gonna try to use him to confuse the fronts. Right. That's what I think they said. They said the Saints defense was kind of confusing the Panthers fronts, and like that's how they was able to get sacks and stuff like that. So I definitely think that this is not a team to sleep on,
At all.
This is a team
Marcus
to take a
shot to you. Found out
so Marcus, this is a guy, this is a team that you 100% want to take seriously. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, when it comes to their offense matching up on our defense, I'm going to take it all day. And I also take our offense over their defense. Yeah. But I do think that, I think Amp had said this is a game where we definitely have to be more balanced and not allow now, of course, if we end up blowing them out, then yes, Mike's going to go back to vanilla again, just like we did. Because you don't need to be trying to score and do all crazy stuff when you're up 2 to 3 touchdowns. Like, let's be honest, you're not doing that. Yeah. So, but I do. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we do. I mean, David mentioned Jimmy Graham. I don't think Jimmy Graham's over there, but we do have to be mindful of their tight ends. I mean, they have Foster Moreau, and they have another guy over there. I think I took note of his name just real quick. Bear with me just for a second, sis. But I did take note of the other tight end they have. Juwan Johnson is the other tight end that I think had a touchdown. He had a tip. He had a tip punt.
He's a speed guy. Yeah, he's a little bit of a speed guy as well. And then they also use Taysom Hill, I think, still as a tight end.
Facts. So, like David mentioned Alvin Kamara as well on the offense. He's still
Alvin Kamara is still he's not what he wants. He's like a Zeke. Like you're not what you once was, but you're still a threat. You're still a good player. So like I said, I got to do more research on the Saints to really determine how should we attack this team, because like I said, I don't watch Saints games, so I didn't watch them versus the Panthers, but I definitely had to look more into them. But I do know
I would just watch the first surface. Half. I would say watch the first half, because I watched the first half, and they I wouldn't watch the whole thing because I fell asleep, but I would definitely watch at least the first half just to see their to see their tight end, to see their offense really, and their defense as well.
Okay, absolutely. So y'all listen to me. She watched it. She watched the game. Yeah. So the people that she's saying, these, like she said, Jawan, Mara Olave, Foster Monroe, like these are obviously guys that you're gonna have to look out for. They still got Cam Jordan. You know what I'm saying? They still got who else? I think they have somebody. I forgot who their other edge is, but this is a good team.
Yeah, like you mentioned Chase Young. I forget who guys in front of them.
Yeah, they have Chase Young. They got So this is a good team where you definitely you just gotta we gotta stay rooted. You gotta stay rooted, and you gotta stay focused, and you gotta put in your all to this team, because this is not a team to just say, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like I said, every team gets up to play us. every team gets up to play us. Like, you have to, and they're going to be, they want to embarrass. They feeling themselves. They just blew out a team.
Yo, they're a division, division opponent.
Right, they just blew them out. They're trying to come to Dallas on a noon game, and they're trying to embarrass us like every team does. They're trying to embarrass us. They're going to try to confuse us. But what I think is we're playing chess, not checkers, because people think shit is sweet because they're like, oh, you know, you're looking at the defensive scheme and you're like, oh, yeah. But I think we're going to be changing defensive scheme up every week.
Exactly.
And I think with the offense, we're going to be changing things up. Like, we didn't reveal much at all on offense, to be quite honest. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. But I do got to run off of here. But I'd like to say, you know, shout out to everybody in chat. Thank you. You guys have been great rocking with us. We really love and appreciate y'all so much. Yeah, you guys, I'm so close. I think I have like 287 now. So literally I only need like 15 more subscribers but I am still doing my sweepstakes, giving out college football 25, Madden 25, or $75 gift card for those who do not play video games. So y'all can take a screenshot of that to see how y'all can enter into the sweepstakes. I really do want to end it soon, but I'm not ending it till I get 300 subscribers. So if y'all tired of waiting, y'all want to see if y'all can win the prize, then please share my content. Share both of our content. Please, you know, like my content and all that type of stuff, and comment, because all of that stuff helps the algorithm. And please donate to our cash apps down below. Mickey, do you have any closing words?
No, not at all. I think you really summed it up, Star. Really appreciate everybody coming on here, spending your time. Thank you, Star, for coming on for this awesome show. Thank you, Cowboys, for, you know, us being able to get through Victory Monday, and, you know, us being able to have a smile on our face, you know, all week. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, Cowboys. Thank you, guys, for restoring some hope in us, because we needed to get Green Bay out of our mouth. So thank you
and some solid hope as well, not just some, you know, puffed up, you know, against the Giants 40-0, you know, faith. You know, we can actually say we faced a good team. Hopefully this weekend we'll go in facing a good team and come out with the dub. All right, y'all. So Cowboys Nation, we appreciate everybody joining us for this, you know, hump day / evening show. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you. See you guys next week. Keep your notifications on. We'll be back to see y'all. Love y'all. We out. See y'all.
Peace.